Team. I'm 6 News meteorologist Brad Sugden with News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. In Lincoln, the original Schrock Innovations is located on 27th and Pine Lake Road. It's South Lincoln over there. And in Omaha, 168th and Burke, just across the street from the Village Point Mall, where the rent's a little bit cheaper. And also in Papillion, our brand new facility at 84th and Highway 370. I have to tell you, we get more compliments on this new facility. And the thing is, it's not really like decored yet. Like, you know, we got everything's functional, everything's there, but there's no art on the wall yet. There's no like pictures of computers and cool stuff. You know, it's just kind of, you know, we're getting there. We're trying to decide if we want to do vinyl on the walls again, like we did in the other locations, or if we want to go high tech with screens. Now, of course, there's a divide in the Schrock household. As some of you may know, the lovely Kimberly is the maker of all things pretty at Schrock Innovations, and she is of the opinion that there is a place for televisions on the wall with you know, I wouldn't call it propaganda, but you know, I mean, with, you know, marketing material and interesting subjects. There's a place for that, right? My opinion is there's every place for that, and her opinion is maybe two, you know, so we'll let you know once we work through that and get it all taken care of. But that new location is off of 84th and Highway 370, right behind Kohl's Pharmacy in Papillion. All righty, so let's get into it. We got a lot to cover today. We are streaming live at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations if you want to watch the live stream, or if you if you miss part of the show today, or if you ever miss any of the show, you can pick up the entire live stream on Facebook after the fact. Otherwise, it's also posted to our website at SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on radio show up there. All right, so if those of you watching on Facebook have any issues with levels or anything like that, post a comment, let me know, and then we'll see about making an adjustment there, but hopefully everything is sounding and looking good this morning. All righty, so big Patch Tuesday last Tuesday, right? We talked about this last week. Hey, there's a Patch Tuesday coming, and I guess it would have been not this last Tuesday, like the 20th, you know, but it was the 13th, basically. So Patch Tuesday comes and patches come out, and we said, hey, there's going to be a patch. There's going to be a patch for the Spectre and Meltdown thing. There's a new Microsoft patch for that. It's going to be great. It's going to get you safer, right? We made the tool that you could check your computer to see if you were, you know, unsafe, which almost everybody is, which is great because, you know, we debated releasing that tool because people then called us and said, well, how do I make myself safe? And we're like, you can't. Have fun knowing. We shouldn't have told you. Do you sleep better now? You know. So they came out with patches, so everybody was happy about that, unless you own a Dell or some HP models, and then you're not very happy because you were in our service center because your keyboard and mouse suddenly stopped working. So if you have your computer at home right now, and the other day, randomly after you restarted the computer, your keyboard and mouse happened to just stop working. Yeah, that's a problem. So basically, here's how we fix that in the service center. You could do this yourself at home if you have this situation. About half the time, all you have to do is when you restart the computer a few times improperly. So like you turn it on, and then it starts spinning the little circles, and then if you hold down the power button and turn it off during that process, you know what you're not supposed to do. When you turn it on the next time, it brings up all the repair options for you. And you can go into troubleshooting, and you can say, go to a system restore point. And funny, your keyboard and mouse will work for this part of the process. So you say, go to a system restore point. And when you go to the system restore point, you restore your computer back to it. For whatever reason, the updates will install perfectly the next time you try, and it won't kill your mouse and keyboard. On the other hand, if you go to system restore, like about the other half of the clients we saw, and you don't have any system restore points, they're just gone, which is really odd because when you do a Windows update, it creates a system restore point. Why would they all be gone? There'd at least be one from right before the update, right? Even if you deleted them. Okay, well, all right. Well, you know, there's no restore points, so there's a couple things we can fix. There's a fix, but it's a command you have to type DISM and then a whole big string of stuff. So we've been affectionately calling it the DISM fix, which it just sounds funny. I don't know. It makes me giggle. It's like, ooh, have you run the DISM on it yet? It's like we have this. What's the DISM? It's a super secret thing at Schrock. No, it's just a command that we found on Google. There you go. But basically, what it does is it manually does what the restore point's doing. You can go through and you can unregister and it tries to uninstall the keyboard and reinstall the keyboard again by removing it from the device manager, which of course you can't do from within Windows because your keyboard and mouse don't work. Now, if you have the ability to remote into your computer, or somebody can remote into it, you could have them remote in, and then they could do it because their keyboard and mouse will work. But if it's like the Schrock desk where you have to type in a code to get connected, can't do that. Why do you ask? Because your keyboard doesn't work and you can't type the code in. Yes, that's right, folks. Well, some of you have older computers that were Windows 7 computers that were then upgraded to be Windows 10. Some of you have modular computers, and modular computers are funny things because we kind of plan for this kind of junk to happen. So some of you with modular computers actually have the old, round, ye old PS2 port on the back. You just plug it right in there. It's not USB, it's PS2. Round circle with the metal pins. Yeah, that one. That keyboard will work, but your USB keyboard won't. So you can plug the keyboard in, or you can plug the mouse in. Now, there are ways to do everything on a computer with just a keyboard or just a mouse. What's your preference? Because even the modular computers, we realize you're not going to be using PS2 keyboards and mice. So we only give you one port. It's kind of like an emergency thing. And don't plug and unplug that port while the computer's turned on, or you'll fry your motherboard. So yeah, I mean, it's just a wonderful smorgasbord of landmines for your wonderful digestive pleasure with this last Windows update, unfortunately. So we had a few customers. I was working in the Omaha Service Center. We had a couple people call in sick, so I was pulling a shift in Omaha, and wow, it was intense because it felt like the entire room was problem children. You have those computers that they come in the door, the customer has, and it's totally complicated for the customer, but we see it all the time. We know exactly what to do. We get it in, we get it out, we get it done, good to go. And then you have the problem children where it sounds just the same in the beginning, but then you do the fix and it doesn't work. And then you do the next fix and it doesn't work. And then the next fix and it doesn't work. And then all of a sudden, wow, there's no fixes left. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to make a new fix. We have some, as I mentioned last week, some new people in the Omaha Service Center, and Drake was working with me. That's why I was pulling a shift in Omaha, because he's a new guy. I can't put the new guy in a 35 bench spot facility by himself. That's not cool. He's good, but I mean, he's only in week 2. I mean, you just can't do that. And so, so I go in there with him, and we're just killing it. I mean, we're just killing it, doing great, getting people's stuff fixed, getting them ready to go. And he's like, hey, Thor, do you mind if I go over to the gas station and get a drink? And I was like, no, hey, you haven't had a lunch yet, man. If you need a lunch or something, go ahead and take it. I can hold this down for you. Oh, no, I just want to get a drink. And then the phone rings. And I said, sure, no problem. You can go right after you answer that phone call. I'm just being silly, right? And so he answers the phone call, and it's a customer with one of the problem children. And the customer this happens sometimes. Typically what we shoot for is 24 to 48 hour turnaround times. Same day, next day. That's what we try for. We can't always do that, especially with a problem child, because their normal fixes aren't working and it takes a little bit longer. And this customer was upset because she believed that she would have her computer back the next day, and we're telling her it's like toward the end of the next day, and it's not going to be done because we're still trying to figure out what's going on. And it's kind of funny because it's like, I train my guys, you never say, I don't know. You never say that. You can say, I haven't figured it out just yet, or I'm going to consult with some of my other senior technicians and see if they have seen something like this before. But it's like when you go to the doctor, you don't want the doctor to say, ooh, dang, what the, those are things you don't want your doctor to say, like, oh, no, you don't want to hear that. And the doctors know that. So doctors are, interesting. Indeed. My. Hey, none of those things are concerning. You're like, okay, there's something interesting. Interesting can be good or bad, right? Interesting means like I'm special, maybe. You could use any of those words with the computer. But the last thing you want to say is, when the customer says, so I understand you're not sure what's going on, so what's the next step here? What's the next fix? And Drake says, well, we're going to have to Google to find the next one. So I'm going to have to do some Googling and figure out what's going on. And it was the gosh honest truth. I mean, we had exhausted every fix in the book. And so the next logical thing to do is to look and see if anybody else has run into this before. Let's check the forums and the boards and see if anyone else has had this before. And then if no one has before, then we bring in the big guns. We get all the senior techs together and we create a new fix. And then we put it on the board so other people can use it. Well, as you might imagine, the customer didn't like that answer very much. And she's like, I want to talk to Thor. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because, there's only one reason. Nobody ever wants to talk to me because they're happy. I mean, I never get to talk to the happy people. The happy people send me emails, though, and I like that. I very much appreciate that because it does offset the I want to talk to Thors. So we get the I want to talk to Thor, calls in. Okay, this is Thor. How can I help you? And we go through the thing, and I agree with her. I'm like, yeah, that's not something. When he said it, I cringed, and I was behind him. So I was like, oh, don't say that. Oh, golly. And it's just that landmine that every new guy has to step on at least once before you figure out, yeah. All right, 866-496-8772. I just realized I didn't drop the phone numbers at the start of the show, but you can join us anytime. Ask a question or make a comment. We'll get you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate that you can use for anything in the service center, anything your heart desires over there. All you have to do is give us a call and ask a question or make a comment. If you have a question and you think it's a silly question, I will guarantee you that there are several other people listening right now that have the exact same question. They're just too chicken to call in, or they don't want to call in because they think it's a silly question. So if you think your question's silly, it's not. Give us a call, 866-496-8772. And I'll tell you what, callers that come after you, if you think their question was silly, you can tell them it was silly because it's not silly. The questions are not silly, guys. When you call in with a question, a lot of other people have the question, so you're really helping people out. All right, so the other thing that we're going to talk about today is I've been telling you for some time we were slow rolling a Secure Updater update that was going to be a whole new client application. The reason we slow roll out big updates like this, and when I say slow roll, that means a few people get it, and then we stop, and we see what happens. And then a few people get it, and then we stop and see what happens. And we thought we had all the bugs kinked out of it. We were good to go. So then we took this giant lever, and, we were just opening it a little bit, like, just a little bit. Okay, turn it off. Yep, everything's fine, no leaks. Okay, a little wider. Turn it off. Everything's good, no leaks. All right. All right. Let's get the champagne poppers out, guys. We're throwing the switch wide in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And then Secure Updater was released. Secure Updater 2.0 was released. And then the phone started to ring. And we were like, oh, wow, people love it. They're calling us. This is great. No, there was all kinds of stupid little issues, all the stupid things that you can't code for. But there was one problem that just about everybody seemed to have, and we don't understand. Why is this happening en masse now when it wasn't happening en masse before? Well, what happened was the Secure Updater original installer file that you had, most people don't keep that file because why would you keep it? And for some stupid reason, the uninstallation file, because you have to uninstall the old version of Secure Updater before we install the new version. The old installation file was required to uninstall Secure Updater. So when it tried to update everybody's and it tried to uninstall their Secure Updaters, they all failed because they couldn't uninstall it. And so we're like, oh my gosh. So then Adam really quick recreates the installer so that it dumps that original installation file where it needs to be. Just, okay, now the installer file will be there for everybody. Good. And then, that was great. But it took like 2 hours to get that fixed done. So in the meantime, the phones, it was constant, just ringing phones, people calling in. Yeah, my Secure Updater. And I would just finish their sentence. Is popping up with an update for itself, but then tries to do it. And you get a user account control prompt and you click yes. And you get another one and you click yes again. And then it just goes away. Like, well, yes. It's like that Lassie thing when the dog comes over. What? Sally's fallen down a well and she needs help right now? All right, good girl. Let's go. Good boy. I just knew what they were going to say. And they're like, wow, this guy is so good. He knows my question before I ask it. It doesn't work that way on the radio. You do have to call 866-496-8772. I'm not a telepsychic, all right? So no, people would call in with their question, and they'd ask it, and we'd say, just give us a little time. We're going to fix it for everybody. And then we got it fixed, right? But then everybody who tried earlier in the day and then just didn't get around to calling yet, they called later in the day and they were asking, and we'd be like, just restart your computer and it'll be fine. And they're like, come on, Thor, turn it off, turn it on again. Seriously, that's your answer? That's super high tech there, Thor. Maybe I should boom, boom, bang on the top of it a couple times, No, seriously, restart your computer. I mean, I could tell you just restart Secure Updater and it'll be fine, but just restart your whole computer. It'll be fine. And they did, and it's fine. So the new Secure Updater icon down there by your clock looks like a little shield now, you'll notice. So if you see the missing circle, don't fret. It looks like a shield now. And that shield down there has the same color scheme. Green is good to go. Red means there's an update that needs to be done. Black means you're not connected to the internet. We kept that color, but we separated it when you have a situation where something is not working with the program for some reason, and you are connected to the internet, it will appear yellow. And that yellow icon is an indication that you might need some support. So if you see yellow, that's usually when you want to call us. Black just means you're not on the internet. And then red and green are obviously, good and bad. So it's pretty straightforward stuff. But if this time we added a graphical user interface, the old Secure Updater was very streamlined. You just right-clicked on the icon to do everything, and you can still do that. It still works if you do that. But if you left-click on the icon now, you get a nice chart that shows you all the different programs that have installed over time on your computer and how much each product. You can see like, wow, look at Dropbox. Its share the pie chart is like absolutely massive. There's a lot of installations of Dropbox that happen on my computer. You can link to your Secure Updater account. You can get all your user information right there. About the only thing that's not there anymore is the button for the log file. And I've had a couple customers say they want the log file button back. End users shouldn't have to look at the log. What app do you have on your phone that has a log button that you can read the log for technical errors? If you need to have a log button, you've failed. And so we took the log button out. If you really want the log button back, you can call me at 866-496-8772 and say, Thor, I want my log button back. Give me my log back, Thor. And then I will pass your information on to the Schrock Interactive team and Adam, who will then re-add the log button for you. But otherwise, not a lot of need for it. All right, 866-496-8772. We got to take our first break of the program. When we come back next, Gary and Dave, your calls coming up on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. In those service centers, we fix computers. We upgrade computers. We build websites. We do all kinds of crazy work. Anything that touches a computer, we can help you do it at Schrock. We can even get the data back off your failed hard drive in our data recovery lab or your phone. We've had a lot of requests for phones. My favorite is when somebody brings in a phone and they say it was liquid damaged. That's code for I dropped it in a dirty toilet bowl. But thank you for not saying that, because it's just, yeah, I have to touch it anyway. So yeah, I'd just rather not know. Just wash my hands really thoroughly afterwards. 866-496-8772. Gary, you're the next caller on the program today. Or actually, you're the first caller on the program today. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out on my computer how it can go from 1 hour is just fast as a gazelle, and then a few hours down the road, it's so slow it's almost unusable. I realize there's a lot of Wi-Fi traffic out there, but how can it be so vastly different?
Gotcha. So when you say fast and slow, what is fast and slow? Because this is one of the questions we get a lot in the service center. My computer is super slow, but super slow at what? Super slow at turning on, or super slow at loading a web page?
Super slow at loading web pages. And let's say you're on like YouTube or whatever, and you get a lot of buffering, and just, whatever you try to do, it just takes a long time to get there.
Gotcha. And who's your internet service provider?
It's Spectrum.
Spectrum?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you're on a cable modem, right?
Right.
Okay. So the good news about cable modems is they're wicked fast. And like you were saying about additional traffic and everything out there, you might want to check and see if there's like a rhyme or reason to this, like a time of day where it slows down. Digital subscriber lines and cable modems are the two most common ways people get internet. A digital subscriber line is your dedicated line to the internet. Typically, DSL connections are slower than cable connections in most cases, but it's a dedicated line. You get all the speed for yourself. On the other hand, a cable modem, like I said, is typically a much faster connection, but it's like a water pressure situation. So if you're taking a shower and somebody flushes the toilet while someone else starts the dishwasher, you're going to get a little surprise, cold water. And it's the same thing with your computer. If a lot of people get on at the same time and start doing, say, like right after work, everybody gets home, gets on, starts streaming, all this other stuff, it brings the water pressure down in whatever area you're in, which causes a slower connection speed. Now, here's the thing. There's no internet connection speed is subjective. For example, you mentioned YouTube. Some of the videos you watch on YouTube could be standard definition. Some of them can be high definition. Some of them can be 4K quality. There's a massive difference in the size of the files there. So the bigger the file, the longer it'll take to buffer. So are you like watching the Olympics and it's buffering, or is it like just random videos on YouTube?
Just random videos on YouTube.
Okay. So I was going to say, if it was something like a sporting event, you can get buffering because there's so many people connecting. I don't think that's a problem that NBC has had this year. Because not a lot of people are connecting. Boom, boom, psst. I'm here all day. Well, no, I'm just here for the next 45, 50 minutes or so. But
the difference can be dramatic. I mean, sometimes I'll get on there like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you try to go to your favorite website, and you just can't get on it hardly. And then a couple hours later, and it's just boom.
Okay, that's completely different. If you're getting a non-responsive connection, being slow is one thing, but being non-responsive is completely different. So cable modems do go bad. Routers do go bad. So you could have a situation where your cable modem or your router is not performing the way it's supposed to be. Have you power cycled those devices? Have they had you do that yet?
I have. I've had the check them out, and he checked the modem from cable, and he said it's just fine. And he said my router, he thought was fine.
Gotcha. Okay. So here's what I would have you do. And it happens consistently, right? Like anytime you use it, like at first it's fine, and then it gets slow over time.
Well, no, it just depends on what time of day you turn it on. I can turn it on at night at 10:30, and it's just fine. It seems like some hour of the day it's really good. Some hour of the day it's just like really bad.
What hours of the day is it bad?
This in the morning about 10 o'clock. When I get on at 10:30, it's just like really slow.
Gotcha. Okay. So the first thing that I would have you do, thank you for the call, Gary. I appreciate it. The first thing I would have you do is let's power down everything. So turn off the computer, unplug the wireless router, and unplug the cable modem. I know they came out and they tested your cable modem. The guy who came out and tested your cable modem did a snapshot test at that moment in time that he was out there, and your cable modem was fine in that moment in time. That doesn't mean your cable modem is always fine, though. So what we need to do is we need to do a longer test, basically, than just a snapshot in time. Now, the other thing is the same thing can apply to your router. Your wireless router gets hot. The longer you use it, the warmer it gets. When things get hot, if they don't cool properly, they don't always work right. So we want to get everything unplugged, leave it unplugged for about 30 seconds, make sure all the energy is drained out of all the capacitors. Then we're going to plug things in a very specific order. So get your pencil out. I'm going to give you the order here. The first thing you want to do is turn on the cable modem. That's where the internet comes into the house. That gets turned on first. Turn on the cable modem. Once the cable modem is turned on, wait till all the lights come on. So you have to wait till that online light, so it's connected to the internet. Perfect. It's going to take 30 seconds to a minute or so. Once that's on, then you turn on the wireless router. And same thing, you let it boot all the way up. Some routers boot in just 5-10 seconds. Mine takes like a half a minute because it's like a little computer, basically. So it's one of the higher end routers. So basically, you turn it on and let it boot all the way up till all the lights are normal and you have online internet access and everything. Then turn your computer back on and see if the problem persists. The next time that everything slows down like that again, I want you to do that procedure that I just gave you. Doing it when everything's fine doesn't do any good. Wait till things stop working and do that procedure. If that procedure fixes it every time, then we know there's something wrong with the devices. Chances are, if you haven't replaced your wireless router in 2 or 3 years, it's your wireless router that's not working properly. So we want to start there. Get a new wireless router. Take the opportunity to do an upgrade. Get you a little more speed, a little bit better bandwidth. All the new devices have the wireless AC. So if you have one of the older wireless N ones, some people have it all built together into the cable modem, all in one kind of unit. Not a great deal because you can't test this kind of stuff. All you have is the modem then, and you can't really replace just the Wi-Fi part. You have to buy a Wi-Fi router and then turn it off in the modem and then use just your Wi-Fi router. That's how you would do that. But you can't turn it off in the router because you lose or in the modem because you lose your internet access. So Gary, give that a shot. When the thing slows down, turn that off. And if that fixes it, we know those devices are the cause. Now, if that doesn't fix it, then we know there's something else going on. In the moment in time when the device is not working, you need to call Spectrum at that moment in time and say, hey, Spectrum, I'm not getting good internet speed. And it seems to happen every day around this time. What's happening on the network right now that would cause this? Because if it's happening predictably in 10:30ish in the morning, there's something going on. Someone's taking the water pressure out of the network, and they can figure out where that's going and how it's happening. Thank you very much for the call, Gary. We got you in the drawing as well for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. 866-496-8772. Dave and Don, your calls coming up after the break on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This, pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo-jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The Democrats have released their response to the GOP FISA memo.
The Democrats' memo is 10 pages. It's a point-by-point rebuttal to the Republicans' 4-page memo, which was released a couple of weeks ago. Democrats say their information shows that despite what Republicans say, FBI and DOJ officials did not abuse their surveillance authority when they sought a FISA warrant to surveil former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page.
Fox's Ellison Barber. The 2018 Winter Olympics have come to a close.
Fans and all delegations will pack back into Pyeongchang Olympic Stadium for a celebration of Korean art and culture. Jesse Diggins, who earned history for Team USA by winning the first ever cross-country skiing gold for the American delegation, will carry the flag for the closing festivities.
Fox's Matt Napolitano. Meanwhile, North Korea's delegate to the games reportedly tells South Korea that his nation is willing to talk with the U.S. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
We'll get a break from winter weather conditions today as our temperatures climb to 44 degrees under mostly sunny skies and then cool down to 24 degrees tonight. We could see some refreezing take place, but the good news is a lot of melting will take place for tomorrow with highs topping off at 56 degrees. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All righty, welcome in, guys. Welcome back to Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we, as I mentioned before, build computers. We build modular, our desktops are all modular computers. And what that means is we put in the little extra pieces and parts and dings and dongs on there that that you normally don't get with computers anymore. You know, like actual power supplies, DVD drives, you know, I know everybody's like, oh, I need a DVD drive, and you really don't need a DVD drive for anything anymore. Anything. Now, of course, there's going to be that one guy who calls who's like, actually, I do because I have this and this, and that's cool. We can get you an external one. But, you know, it's getting tough. Asus came out with their new line of computers, their laptops, because that's all we sell for laptops are Asus laptops. All the new Asus laptops have no DVD drives. We are a little bit worried about that scenario because we know what's going to happen when we tell our customers that they don't come with DVD drives anymore. And they didn't discount the prices either. The prices are the same. They just don't come with the DVD drives now. 866-496-8772. Dave, thanks for being patient with us. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, I have 2 issues.
Yes.
And the very first one has to do with stuff that comes into my email saying, hey, somebody is trying to use your account. We believe it's fraudulent. Click here and stuff to let us know everything's okay. And, you know, if you don't, we're going to delete your account tomorrow. I
Gotcha.
never click it. My question is if I exit out of the browser completely and then go to that website myself and check it out, am I safe?
Yep, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Do not trust any link sent to you in an email. About the only link you should trust is when you pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, can you send me a link to that? And then a link shows up in your inbox from that person on your request. That's about the only link you can really trust anymore. They're just too tricky. They're way too tricky. So, yeah, if you get something that says your credit card company, here's a good one. Yeah, your package, we attempted delivery of your FedEx package, and if you don't click this link and claim your package now, we're going to send it back to the sender. And people click the link, and you're like, oh, no, were you even expecting a FedEx package? Were you thinking, maybe somebody sent me a present, you know? So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. Don't click the links.
Okay, thank you. My second issue, I'm a volunteer fireman.
Okay.
I know my area around here fairly well, but not 100%. It seems like every time I need to go to my computer in a hurry to find a location, it's updating. I don't know how many times this has happened. My question is there a way, instead of it deciding when it's going to update, that I get to decide when it's going to update so that I can say, do this, I'm going to work, and it can do whatever it is it needs to do while I'm at work,
Okay.
not when it wants to.
Gotcha. Well, quick question. When you're not using your computer, like overnights and things like that, do you turn it off or do you leave it on?
I leave it on.
And is it a laptop or a desktop?
Laptop.
Do you shut the lid when you're not using it?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens when you shut the lid is, unless you've changed the settings, it's going to sleep. And so it's effectively off when you shut the lid. And what ends up happening, and we see this a lot on laptops, customers shut the lid, and then it downloads the update while you're using the computer, and it'll wait up to 14 days for an opportunity to install the update. And it needs a restart. That's the opportunity it's looking for. If it doesn't get that opportunity, after 14 days, it will force install on you. So what you're getting is the force installations of the updates because it hasn't had the opportunity to install. So what I would suggest, Patch Tuesday is the second Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
On that Tuesday, leave your computer open and turned on all day. Don't let it go to sleep. Don't let it turn itself off. Just leave it on all day and all night, and it'll take care of all the updates for you. And then the next morning when you get up, just restart the computer, and it will go ahead and finish all the installations, and you won't have that interruption. Because we have the same issue all the time with customers. Like, for years I've said the best thing to do is just leave your computer on all the time, because if you only turn it on when you want to use it, you're forcing not only just your Windows updates, but your antivirus scans have to happen while you're using the computer. Your disk optimization, like defrags and stuff, will happen in the background while you're using the computer. And Windows updates, you throw that all in at one time, that computer's got to be running terribly. I mean, it's got to feel like it's slower than it used to be. I mean, does it feel slower to you now than it used to?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I would imagine it would, but if that's, regardless, once a month, just leave it on overnight, let it do its thing, and then you won't have that problem anymore where it's forcing you to do updates in the middle of your workday or when you're trying to get something done.
My computer normally has a pretty easy life. I don't bother it a whole lot, but it just seems like when I really need it, it's updating. So, but I can go ahead and I can go ahead and leave it open on the second Tuesday. That works.
Yep, and see, it's just doing the updates when you want to use it because it doesn't have an opportunity to do it any other time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call, Dave. We appreciate it. We got you in the drawing as well for that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. 866-496-8772. That's the number to join us on the program. If you have questions, see, these guys are calling in. They're asking questions, and they're good questions. I cannot tell you how many times I've had customers ask me, gee whiz, why can't I do this or that? Or why is my computer acting so slow? Or it always wants to do a virus scan when I turn it on. Why does it keep popping up saying Windows Defender is coming on? Why is my endpoint icon always have a question mark on it? It's because you keep turning your computer off. And when you turn it back on, things don't just zippity-doo-dah back to life. It takes a little time, especially if it's been off for a while. You got to make sure you get that thing, synced back up to the internet and good to go. Computers used to be meant to be, here's the thing. Technology in general used to be equipment. Those of you who have ever owned a piece of equipment, most of us have a lawnmower or a dishwasher or an air conditioner. When they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're off. And when you don't need them, you don't think about them. Equipment, right? Technology is no longer equipment. It used to be equipment, like 90s, 2000s, it was kind of equipment. You had to have a computer to have a business. It was like a required piece of equipment. Now, you can literally run a business from a phone or a tablet if you really wanted to. Heck, you could run an eBay business from your phone if you want to. It's got the camera built right in. You take pictures of stuff and sell it. It's great. Now, your technology is no longer equipment. It's a service. Think of it like a service. And like any service, there are specific things that need to be delivered in a timely manner. And it's a lot of the nuances that when I run a service business, and it's the nuances. I can take a computer, two identical computers with identical problems, completely fix one, hand it back to a customer, completely fix the other one, hand it back to a customer, and just change the way I talk during that process. And I'll have one customer completely satisfied and one customer who thinks they got the worst service in the world, but they got the same product at the end, right? Their computer's fixed. But it's the nuance of delivery. And so when your technology is becoming a service, there's the nuance of delivery. That's exactly what Dave was talking about. Why does it always seem like my computer always wants to update? Let me translate for you. Why is it that whenever I go to Taco Bell, the guy in front of me orders 25 custom tacos, and it takes the kid in the window like 5 years to make his order? I got my tacos just like everybody else, right? But the service wasn't there. The nuance of the service, the delivery time wasn't right. Or when the kid talked to me, he threw the money back at me through the window. Have you ever had one of those guys in the drive-thru do that, where they like shove the money in your hand and send you on your way, and you're just like, you just feel dirty afterward. You're like, ew, gosh, you didn't have to do that. Or I had a woman once break my credit card in half and say, oops, and hand it back to me. And it wasn't like in the movies, like this card was declined, snap, and hand it back to you. No, it had I don't know if you had, my wallet for some reason kind of trims off the top of the cards in my wallet. And so then when you use them over time, they get weak right on this mag stripe and they start to split from the edges. And so they just beat these cards, slap it into the terminal, and slide it down there. And then she slams it in the terminal, slides it down. I think it was at Cane's, and just literally tore my card in half. And she says, oops, and hands me back the 2 pieces. It processed, thankfully. Otherwise, we'd have had a real problem. But, I mean, it was the nuance of delivery, right? I got my chicken, but my credit card got torn in half. That's not cool. So it's the same thing. Your computer wants to make you happy. It's going to do the things it needs to do to keep you safe and to keep itself working. You need to give it the opportunity to do those things during non-critical times. So leave the computer on all the time. Customers ask me this all the time. Should I leave it on? The answer is yes. Leave it on. 866-496-8772. Alice on Facebook asks, how far down can you close the lid of a laptop and not have it shut off? Just trying to keep the dust off the keyboard. Well, bless you, Alice. That's awesome. All right. So if this is really a concern, if you want your, you can change the settings in your power management options. If you click on start and then you click on that gear, you can go into the power management and you can tell your computer to not shut off when I close the lid. So a lot of people, it's kind of funny. If your computer is going to sit in one place and never move, you should have a desktop. They are less expensive in the long run to use and operate. They are more upgradable, especially our modular models. And generally, they are a little more robust. They're a little less fragile. They tend to last longer. Laptops, however, are portable. So if you plan to take your computer with you and do things with it, you would want a portable computer, i.e. a laptop. So we do have customers, though, that get laptops because they think everyone's getting the laptops now, and maybe I'll want to move it someday, So they get a laptop, and then they put it on the desk, and they cable it all up, and it just sits. They never take it anywhere. They never do anything with it. It just sits there. If you fall into that camp and your computer never moves anywhere, and you just want to shut the lid when you're done, maybe it's because you don't want the light in the room. Like if you have your laptop in your bedroom, it's like a truck headlight at night having that screen on. You can change the power management settings so that you just close the lid and it stays on. Everything stays on. And then when you open the lid, it just comes back up. But it's actually running the whole time. It's never off. So you can change that in power management settings. If you have the Schrock Desk, we can actually check that for you on the Schrock Desk. If you're a Schrock Desk subscriber, we can remote into your computer and change those settings for you. If you're not a Schrock Desk subscriber, it's pretty easy to get. The Schrock Desk is basically a remote help desk service that you can get from Schrock. When you get a new computer from us, you get it free for 3 months. And that's so that, when you get home, there's always something. Your version of Microsoft Office isn't compatible. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Oh, my printer doesn't want to connect. What am I going to do? Oh my goodness, the scanner won't scan, or I hit the button on the scanner and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. What am I going to do? I used to have all this stuff on my desktop and it's not there anymore. What am I going to do? My home page is missing. What am I going to do? You have these questions when you get a new computer. And rather than kind of, bothering your family or, kind of running that road on your own and trying to, look everything up and figure it out, it's a lot handier to be able to call the service center and say, hey, I need some help on the Schrock Desk. I'm a subscriber. It's $30 a month for unlimited help to be a subscriber. And the other cool thing is, too, is you get all labor services half off when you're a Schrock Desk subscriber. So when you subscribe, if you probably, I've had lots of people ask me when our next maintenance sale is going to be. Not till things slow down in the spring, guys, okay? When it gets warm enough to put stuff in the ground, that's about when the sale usually starts. Because that's when our benches empty out, and we don't want to run a maintenance special on a full bench. Trust me, that's bad. So when you have all this stuff going on with your computer, and you're trying to make everything work, having someone on the Schrock desk to do that for you is an amazing asset. So we connect over the internet. It's a one-time connection, and then we go ahead and take care of everything for you. And things like maintenance checkups or hours of labor or data transfers, all those things are half price when you're a Schrock desk subscriber. So it's $30 a month, but you can actually break even on the Schrock desk when you consider the help you get. And then if you get a couple maintenance checkups a year, you don't have to wait for the busy time of year. You can do it anytime you want. Heck, that's an amazing deal. So you can subscribe to that on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. You can actually subscribe online, or you can call us in the service center and we can get you set up with a subscription for the Schrock desk, but it's $30 a month. But anyway, something like this scenario, we can remote in real quick, takes about 30 seconds to connect. We can check your power management settings and change them for you. So Alice, if that's something you'd like us to do for you, give us a call in the service center. We're open on Saturday from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening, and Sunday from noon to 5. We're also open Monday through Friday, by the way. 866-496-8772. Let's jump into those calls and take Don's call before we go to break. Don, how can I help you on Compute This?
Yeah, Thor, I have one of your desktops, and I'd like to say that I do have the guys that have serviced my computer and have been great.
Awesome, thank you.
Nothing but good things to say. I don't know what I did, but I used to have Google as one of my primary internet thing.
It's your search engine.
My computer.
Yeah.
And somehow I did something, and now I get Yahoo.
Yep.
And I'd rather go back to Google.
Okay, so let me ask you a quick question. By chance, okay, I am channeling Thorstradamus now. Do you use the Firefox browser?
I don't think so.
I knew it. No, actually, the reason I ask is the Firefox browser, they used to have Google as the default search engine, but Google stopped giving them money, and Yahoo offered them money, so they switched it to Yahoo. So then one day you get an update to Firefox for your Firefox browser, and all of a sudden your search engine changes to Yahoo. And
yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, so if it's Firefox you're using, you have to change that in the settings. So what you can do is you can go into your Firefox settings, and you can actually change the default search browser. Now, you can also do this on the top of your page, your Firefox window. There's the main address bar where you type in stuff like www.SchrockInnovations.com, and there's a little search box off to the right, and that's where you can type stuff that would go straight to Google and search. Now, I know you probably don't do that right now because you're used to having Google just show up as your homepage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to click on the right-hand side. There's 3 little bars, and you can click on that, and you can go into settings, and you can change the homepage from Yahoo back to Google. In your case, it probably wasn't an update to Firefox. It was probably an installation of a piece of software that when you were saying next, 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 it said, also make Yahoo my default search engine, and it did. So basically, or my homepage, excuse me. So you can change that homepage very easily. And once again, this is the kind of stuff that customers will call us when they have Schrock Desk subscriptions. And Don, we can get this fixed like instantaneously over the Schrock Desk. Otherwise, this is one of the things too. If you call the service center and ask, "Hey, my homepage got changed. Can you help me change it back?" That falls in the 2-minute or less category. I tell my technicians, if you can solve a customer's problem in 2 minutes or less, don't worry about invoicing them. Don't worry about charging or opening a Schrock Desk or anything. Just solve their problem. So if you want to give us a call in the service centers, any of the 3, we'd be happy to help you out with that, Don. But we just need to change your homepage. It's no sweat.
Okay, thank you. But I know you guys have been great. I've had you now for about 4 years, and it's been great.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Don. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. All righty. 866-496-8772. Before we go to break, I want to throw this out there as well. It would be really beneficial for us if you're like Don and you've used our services before and you've found them to be satisfactory or you're happy with them, if you could write a Google review for us. And it's very specific, a Google review. Those help other customers find us. It helps us because it's marketing that stays on the internet forever that we don't have to pay for, which allows us to keep our prices lower. We do much more marketing than other computer repair companies in town do. And part of that is because we do a lot of educating, shows like this, where we're teaching people how to do things. Well, that stuff costs money. So if you could write us a Google review, it's a really quick way to show that you appreciate the content of the program and it helps other users find us, and I very much appreciate it. You can do a Google review very easily. If you open the Google search engine and you just search for Schrock Innovations and like the city that you use. So if you use Lincoln, you'd say Schrock Innovations Lincoln, or Omaha, Schrock Innovations Omaha, and it'll pop up the business information on the side of the screen over there. And all you have to do is just click on the review button and you can leave a quick review for us. 5-star reviews are appreciated. If you're going to leave less than a 5-star review, please call me first so I can fix it. And then you can leave me a 5-star. 866-496-8772. Final break of the program. And we have more of the show coming up next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier. So take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, welcome back into Compute This rapid fire round, because it's only cool to call Compute This in the last 4 minutes of the program. So we have Steve, Bruce, and Steve's other brother, Steve. Rapid fire edition. Steve number 1, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hey, good morning. Hey,
good morning.
Thanks. Hey, got a Asus laptop that I purchased from you a couple years ago.
Perfect.
And lately it's been I leave it on all the time, like I just heard on your earlier story here. So it would back up and all that kind of good stuff. But sometimes, like last night, I came in 10 o'clock, went to bed, came up this morning, and it's off. The only way that I can get it turned back on is by hard booting it. So I just wondering what to check, because I've had that happen in the past, and I've checked all the power settings and things like that, and I turn all that stuff off, and it still does that.
Okay, so when you get to your laptop, it's actually powered down. And
no, it's like this. It's like the screen is black, and moving the mouse, hitting the keyboard, doing anything will not bring the screen back up.
Gotcha.
The light still shows that it's on. So, but if I, hold the button in and hard boot it, that seems to be the only way that I can, get it to come back up for me.
Gotcha. And this computer, did it originally come with Windows 10 or did it come with Windows 7 or 8?
7.
Okay.
7 or I don't remember what it was. It could have been 7.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't remember.
All right, so there may be. When's the last time we've done preventative maintenance on this one, Steve?
About less than a year ago.
Okay, so it's been pretty recent. So we can make a reasonable assurance that the hardware is okay. You're probably running Secure Updater. Hopefully you're running Drive Advisor, because that's a free program. Tells you if your hard drive is going to fail. All right, so your hardware is probably okay. So my guess here is there's got to be some issue in the way that Windows is handling power management. It sounds like it's trying to put the computer to sleep, even though it's not supposed to. So I would double check the power management settings, because there are several settings on a laptop. You can tell it when to sleep. You can tell it when to hibernate. You can tell it what to do when the lid closes, to stay on or off or whatnot. Right. So it's important to double check those settings. And if you've already double checked those settings, something is happening that's putting the computer, either hard drive or memory, to sleep and not waking it back up again, which is why you have to hard reboot. That's something we can take a look at in the service center and get diagnosed for you.
Okay.
I would say it's not an urgent thing. I'd sit on it till the next maintenance special and have us look at it when you come in for that.
All right, that's good. Yeah, because I thought I've gone through all the settings and basically turned all that off, because I thought that was maybe what the problem was. So
yep. So okay. double check them one more time, and we'll take a look next time you have it in for maintenance, Steve.
Thanks, Thor.
All right, thank you. All right, rapid fire call number 2. Bruce, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
All right, so I've got an iPad. Like you mentioned, a lot of us use our computing via iPads or phones. And you're trying to talk us into the Facebook thing, and I kind of like it. However, I can't ever seem to watch it live, or at least not today, because it wants a Flash player installed.
Yeah, Apple devices.
2018.
Apple devices don't run Flash
anymore.
Yeah, they don't run Flash, so you have to use the Facebook app on your iPad.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do it because I'm not a Facebook person, but you're trying to get us on there, and now I got a third of the page covered up with that. Join now.
Yeah, I know. It's very insistent. I haven't logged into Facebook aside from this in a while, and I'm starting to get, every time somebody posts something, they send me an email now. All right, last caller, rapid fire, Steve. Steve number 2, what can we do for you on Compute This?
I missed the deal about the Secure Updater. I don't have that icon anymore in the lower right-hand side of my screen.
All right. See, we updated Secure Updater this week. So your icon in the lower right-hand corner by the clock changed from a shield, or excuse me, from a circle to a shield. And that shield, because it's a new program that it's installed, it may be in the hidden icons. So there's a little caret. That's what they call that up-facing arrow, as a caret. I don't know why it's called a caret. It's a caret, okay? It doesn't look like a carrot, whatever. But you can click on the caret, and you can, I'm sure someone's going to call and tell me why it looks like why it's a caret now, but click on the caret and you'll see it in there. You can drag it down into the visible icon so that it always stays down there for you. But yep, there's a new version. If you're having trouble with Secure Updater, please reboot your computer. That is fixing 95% of the issues. If that doesn't fix it for you, call us in the shop and we'll take care of it. Congratulations to Dave. You're the winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, and we'll see you again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This.
And traffic station. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB Omaha, an iHeart radio station. On demand at KFAB.com.
Democrats release their blacked out rebuttal.